Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Middleton Zoning Board of Appeals open meeting for the month of September 2019. Please be aware that tonight's proceedings are taped for audio and visual. First order of business on the agenda tonight is the minutes of the September 12th meeting. All the board members should have a copy. Are there any questions? If not, we anticipate a motion.
So moved.
Motion's made. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's made and second. All those in favor of accepting the minutes, vote.
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Unanimous. The next item on the agenda, we're going to move down to North Meadow Village, B&B Development Group. We have a letter.
We have an email from Kristen Kent, the conservation agent. One of the conditions for the release of the bond was that Anthony first obtain a certificate of compliance, Anthony being the developer. A certificate of compliance has not yet been issued. As such, the commission has requested that the bond be held until the requirement has been satisfied. They meet next on October 1. And then we have an email from Anthony Bonacorso, the developer, saying, yes, please extend the meeting for the tripartite agreement until October 24th ZBA meeting. So,
There's a request for a continuance to October 24th. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Motion's made, second.
second.
Motion's made and second. All those in favor, vote.
Aye.
Aye. The matter of North Meadow Village is continued to October 24th, 2019. Next item on the agenda, we'll move to 59 South Main Street, permit number 1074.
We have a letter from Jill Mann. Do you want me to read it?
Please.
Okay. Dear members of the board, on behalf of the applicant, Fairway Estates, LLC, the undersigned hereby requests a withdrawal without prejudice of its application for site plan approval for the development of the property located at 59 South Main Street as a condominium complex for people over the age of 55. This request is based on the board's decision to close the public hearing and to issue a use variance to allow 45 age-restricted market value dwelling units at the property, which use variance was conditioned upon the petitioner returning to the board with a site plan showing the units and all related infrastructure. Accordingly, on behalf of Fairway, I hereby request that the board accept Fairway's withdrawal without prejudice in anticipation of receiving a revised application for site plan approval based on the board's written decision regarding its issuance of the variance. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Sincerely, Jill Mann.
Do we have a motion on the request to withdraw the site plan?
I'll move.
Motion's made, second.
Second.
Motion's made and second. All those in favor, vote.
Aye.
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 Unanimous. Next item on the agenda is 5 Riverview. Excuse me?
Formal vote on the variance.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
That's okay. So, at our last meeting, we voted to direct staff to draft the variance decision, the findings and decision. Now we will move for the findings. Do I have to read through all of it again?
You can,
You're gonna do the findings without her being present, huh?
no, you can ask the board if they have read through
Oh, yeah.
the decision, and if they have all read it, then you can just make the motions for the findings, to make the findings that are contained in the decision, and then you get a second and you vote on it. Same, you might want to go through the conditions. The conditions, were sound a little different than what you did
Okay.
2 weeks ago.
Right. So, has everyone read it?
Everybody
Yes.
read the
Okay,
findings?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a few things we gotta tweak on it, though. just in general,
Okay.
like, let's see, this is just for variance approval, not site plan.
It's in there, isn't it? It's in there. Yeah, it's up here. That's what he's saying. Because we haven't approved it yet. I don't know. Just
You have everyone's attention, Craig, just so you know.
No, I mean, did anybody else have anything that they were,
The only difference is the
Adding the community center, right. We had, so the town administrator, myself, and town council went through this, and we went back and forth with the applicant's attorney and settled on this too. Not settled, but we all agreed, for
right.
the most part, on this form. But if you see any errors,
no, it was just more of a, I guess from a procedural standpoint, if the board voted last meeting to allow, didn't we already withdraw last meeting, the
No.
site plan?
No, we didn't.
didn't do anything on the site plan. But you did just vote to
Yeah,
withdraw.
didn't we just get rid of it?
Yeah,
Just-
that's
I-
done.
No, I'm just making sure we're not putting the cart before the horse, that's all. All right, I'm good.
I noticed. Well, the
Good.
public hearing's closed, right? Yeah.
No.
I noticed Pike was here, I just didn't know if there was
So,
anyone who was here to talk about this.
You can vote to formally close the public hearing. This board has never closed a public hearing since I've been planner here. And most boards will close the public hearing
Yeah.
before voting, and that means that that's the time when they can talk and the
Right.
public is done speaking. You've never closed a public hearing before, you've just always voted, but you can do that.
don't have a choice now.
Okay, so we'll have a motion to accept the findings.
I'll move to accept the findings contained in the decision, findings and decision for the variance.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second it.
Motion's made and second. All those in favor vote.
Aye.
Aye.
All right,
It's unanimous. Next item on the agenda is,
Oh.
Now you have to
Still-
vote on the
No.
variance.
We still have to, we voted for the findings, we now need to vote on the grant, the variance itself.
the variance, okay.
Yeah. So I'll move to, grant the variance based based on the findings and
With the following conditions and considerations.
yes, subject to the following conditions and considerations. Thank you, Craig. The age restrictions, no construction shall begin until the board approves an age restriction and accompanying policy submitted by petitioner that ensures that at least one owner or tenant of each unit shall be over the age of 55 years, and that describes the process for documenting age for prospective buyers or tenants and ensuring compliance with age restriction requirements. Said restriction and policy is subject to the prior approval of town council, shall be included in and recorded with the master deed of the condominium complex. The public swamp walk, petitioner shall acquire the necessary permits for from the Conservation Commission and grant easements for public use to construct a swamp walk as a public pathway as shown on the plans. Said pathway must be constructed and required easements filed at the South Essex Registry of Deeds as required by the town before the occupancy permit for the 30th unit is granted. The condominium association will be responsible for the future upkeep and maintenance of the constructed swamp walk. All easements across the project locus into the swamp walk shall be subject to the prior approval of town council. The senior center / community center contribution, this decision shall not be effective unless and until the applicant and selectmen agree to terms of the senior center contribution. Approved site plan, the approval of variance is contingent upon an approved site plan showing up to 45, did we say 55? Oh no, 45 market rate age restricted housing units and the public walkway connecting parcel to the adjacent former golf course parcel and is null and void without such approval. Any violation of a condition of site plan approval shall be a violation of the variance. In the event the petitioner fails to apply for site plan approval from the board within 6 months of the date the decision is filed with the town clerk, the variance will be null and void. Condominium documents, petitioner shall ensure that the documents creating the condominium will include provisions mandating the maintenance of the stormwater management systems, lighting, trash removal, access drive from South Main Street, which will include snow and ice removal, sewer connections, maintenance of public swamp walk, and landscaping of the open space areas. General condition, site plan approval shall be subject to the board's general conditions as possibly modified by the board during site plan approval process attached hereto as Exhibit A. So move to grant variance based on those, with those conditions.
Motion's made, second.
I'll second it.
Motion's made and second. All those in favor vote?
Aye.
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 Now we're ready for 59 South Main Street.
So we're done with 59.
5 Riverview, application number 1069. Just a minute, we'll read into the record.
So we have, a letter from, we have a letter, Middleton Zoning Board of Appeals. Enclosed, please find copies of a revised special permit plan for a property located at 5 Riverview Drive in Middleton, Mass, and a copy of an architect's rendering of the proposed addition. The special permit request has been continued since its original meeting held February 28th, 2019. The request was to remove the existing non-conforming dwelling and build a new dwelling on the same footprint and add a farmer's porch on the front and right side of the dwelling. These additions would not increase the nonconformity of the dwelling. Zoning violations were brought to the attention of the board by the building commissioner and an abutter. The applicant, Christopher Deo, was conducting an electrical business from his existing garage. There was also a number of commercial vehicles parked at the property during the day. Mr. Deo has moved his business to a business district on Sharpers Pond Road. The abutter, Mr. Costa of 25 Hilldale Ave, also voices opposition to a porch facing his property. The newly proposed porch will no longer face his property. After discussions between the owner, architect, and building commissioner, Mr. Deo is now requesting to remove the existing dwelling permanently. He would then like to add a second floor to the existing garage and an approximate 20 by 20 foot addition attachment to the left and rear sides of the garage. A farmer's porch is proposed as shown on the plan and rendering. None of the proposed increases to the building footprint will encroach any closer to lot lines than the existing garage footprint. There will also be a decrease in lot coverage by buildings because the proposed addition's roof coverage will be less than the existing dwelling coverage. Respectfully, Gregory Bernard.
Okay, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and the board. I am Gregory Bernard, the author of that letter. I thought it would be important to recap what happened at the last meeting since it was last heard in February, whereas the letter states the original intent was to knock down the existing home and build a new home on the existing footprint. After the zoning violations were brought forth and some discussions were made, the applicant felt that why don't we just knock down the existing dwelling, leave it down, and add a second floor to the existing garage, and as the letter states, roughly a 20 by 20 addition on the left side of the house, and with the farmer's porch. And as stated before, the zoning violation concerning the business and the commercial vehicles has been taken care of. He now has an office down in Sharpness Pond Road. So the commercial vehicles are no longer an issue, the business is not an issue, and even though the previously proposed farmer's porch did not encroach into any of the zoning issues, we want to appease Mr. Costa, the abutter, and so we're facing the farmer's porch now, which will be off the new addition attached to the garage, away from his house, towards the existing dwelling, which will be taken down.
All the zoning issues are complete?
Yes.
Thank you. Is anyone else here speak in favor of this project? Anyone to speak against it? Okay, you wanna read the letters? We have some letters there.
That was the only,
That was the only thing.
yeah, that was the only, we didn't have
All the
anything from.
butters are notified and there's no correspondence
The
from
public
them.
hearing was open in February.
Yeah,
So,
Okay.
so that's when the legal ad went in the paper and all the abutters were notified back then.
yes,
Nothing else.
nothing else?
Any board members have any questions?
So the plans, I just have a quick question. Have you looked at it? Like, this is being built on top of this existing garage, so is that all engineered somewhere?
Do you have the plan there?
I look, it's really just a,
Once they get the zoning approval, then they'll go into a full set of construction documents,
Okay.
but that's an expense that they don't undertake until they
Okay.
get the zoning approval.
okay, but that's something
Do you
huge.
have
garage
a plot
is
plan there that you
fairly-
can show us?
The garage is, exactly.
The plot plan?
Do you have a plan there that shows how the
Well,
house is laid out in relation to
It's,
the
yeah,
garage?
and that really wasn't my question. It was just that
That's a
Scott
fairly
at some
modern
point
garage. I
will,
think it was built in the 90s, maybe.
okay,
So
because
it
I
was
hadn't seen the garage. I mean,
built
I know we
under
saw
current
pictures of it.
Existing dwelling that's gonna come down?
No, I was just talking about, so you're building the new house on top of this garage. I
correct.
just wanted to make sure someone was going to show that
You
it's.
say on top, but it's a two-story garage
It's,
now,
it-
right?
it's a 1.5 story, so the bottom story is the garage, and there's, no, I'm sorry, it's a 2-story garage now, yeah. So they're gonna, well, the first story is the garage, so
It's
it's
not a
one.
story above grade.
It's not a story above grade, so it's 1 story above grade. The roof's gonna come off, and you're gonna add a second floor to
So
it.
you have
Gotcha.
2.5
The
story.
second floor is gonna be where that apartment was,
No, above that.
above that.
Yes.
So that's gonna be the first floor then?
So the
above
garage level is not technically a story above grade.
So there's the existing garage, double doors.
Yeah,
The existing story above it is where the 2 windows are here, and they're gonna add the story above.
above that, okay. And the porch on the left.
And the
as you're
porch on the
facing it.
left, sir, yeah.
And now we have one structure on the property instead of the previously proposed 2.
Are you removing the angle iron that's hanging out there?
Yes, Yes, that's coming down. That was from the previous owner that had the garage built, and he used it to lift machinery.
Yeah.
That was my only concern, and based on the drawings, I thought,
It's
well,
go-
this is kind of substantial now. You're building a house on top of this, so,
Yeah.
but I'm fine.
It's a very structural sound foundation. We have an
Before, they were
architect
gonna
on board.
replace the house where it was
Right,
existing
no,
and
I
keep the
remember
garage
that.
too.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
I don't have any more questions.
Okay, we need a motion now to accept, and I think it's pretty obvious that this is not going to be substantially more detrimental to the existing non-conforming structure. A motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion that the board make the following findings, that based on the evidence presented, that the proposed reconstruction of the residential structure at 5 Riverview Drive, as shown on the most recent site plan dated, was it 9/17/19 by, I'm not gonna try to even pronounce that. In the architectural plans dated 9/12/19 will not be substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming structures to the neighborhood. Short and sweet.
I'll second it.
Motion's made, and second. All
Second.
those in favor vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Alright. Based on those findings and pursuant to section 3.3.7.3 of the bylaws, I will make a motion to issue the special permit for the property located at 5 Riverview Drive to allow for the reconstruction of a non-conforming structure that is larger than the existing structure, and to remove the other, I don't know if I'll word that.
The existing dwelling?
To,
What are you looking for?
we're eliminating one,
Yeah,
to
you're removing
eliminate,
the existing
we're
dwelling.
eliminating the current,
It was a primary structure and an accessory structure. Now the house becomes part of the accessory structure.
so I'll make a motion to issue the special permit under 3.3.7.3 to allow for the removal of the current primary structure on the property at 5 Riverview Drive, and allow for the reconstruction of the non-conforming structure that is currently being used as the garage. Right? That makes sense?
That's good. Motion's made, second.
I'll second.
Motion's made and second. All those in favor vote?
Aye.
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 Thank you very much.
Good luck, sir. Next item on the agenda. 27 Park Street, application number 1080. Okay. Just a minute, sir. You gotta read into the record and open the hearing.
In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 40A, I read this whole thing, the public hearing notice,
How it opens there
for some reason.
on the record.
Okay, I just keep forgetting, I'm sorry. In accordance with the provisions of Chapter 40A, Section 11, Mass General Law, the Zoning Board of Appeals will hold a public hearing on Thursday, September 26, 2019, at 7 p.m. at the Fuller Meadow School Media Center, 143 South Main Street, on the application of Matthew Baird for a special permit under Section 3.3.5 and a variance under Section 9.3.0 1.2.3 of the Middleton zoning bylaw or any additional relief the board may find necessary to add an existing non-conforming dwelling and encroach on a required yard setback on property located at 27 Park Street and found on Assessor's Map 17, Parcel 108. Plans are on file at the office of the town clerk, Memorial Hall, 48 South Main Street, Middleton, Mass., and at the Planning Board Office, DPW Building, 195 North Main Street, Middleton, Mass. Any person interested in or wishing to be heard on the application should appear at the time and place designated.
We'll hold up correspondence.
Okay.
Okay, so you're ready?
Do you want me to give you just at least say the abutters have been notified?
Go into that with the mail when you get, let him make his presentation.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Can I clarify something? When we applied, we determined, he only needed a special permit. He didn't need a variance as well.
Okay.
So the hearing should only be for a special permit. It's a pre-existing non-conforming structure that they're looking to add and increase in non-conformity that they're allowed to do with only a special permit in accordance with 3.35.
It would be
Okay.
best to ask the applicant to withdraw without prejudice the variance, just so we're clear that there's no variance on the table.
Go ahead, sir. We'll take that up as we go along.
Okay, hi, my name's John Duggar, the architect for the project.
You gotta speak a little louder for me, sir, please.
Oh, okay, sorry. With me tonight are the owners of the property, Matt and Wendy Beard. Let's see, what's driving our need to be here, I didn't mean that to be humorous, but can we have that back, the first slide back?
The first slide?
Yep,
Okay.
that one.
I have a pointer here if you want one.
Oh, great, thank you.
Just press that red triangle on the top.
Okay, this space right here in the middle of the main house is a den, and it has one window. The septic system is over here on this side of the house. There's a side yard that isn't being used. It has an existing driveway coming in to about the same spot where the garage would be. There is no garage on the property as it stands, and this is New England, and none of us are getting any younger, and I think having a attached garage is a great amenity. Because of this den situation, we decided that, also for cost reasons, to build the garage away from the existing house to eliminate a lot of work in marrying up the roofs and the sidewalls of the building and the garage addition. This gives us a chance to come in, make a level change, and then address the den, but also put some windows in that connector piece so that there will still be light and air coming into the den. That pushed us out a few feet, pushed us over the line. I really think it's most efficient for them to have a 24 by 24 garage, which is pretty much standard in the marketplace here, and give them a little additional indoor storage on site. And that is essentially what's driving the request for the continuance of the non-conforming use. Now, I've spoken with the building inspector on a couple of occasions about this, and I did the blunderbuss approach and filed for everything I could think of because it takes a while to get before you folks, and we are moving up onto the end of the building season. So I apologize for having asked for too much, and I would withdraw that request for the variance. And if you need a letter from me, I'd be happy to provide it.
No, I don't think we need a lot of,
You could just vote on it, and that'll go right into the decision and go to the town clerk, and that'll be enough to end the variance.
we can accept that here. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it. It's just basically a small garage on a small house and a small lot.
Okay. You want to read the correspondence now, then?
Yeah, so.
That's fine, so you can sit down.
Thank you.
We have the notification that the abutters were notified. And We have an email from Mike Cloutier, is he Middleton Electric?
Yep.
The addition is going on the side that the electric service is on. A new service location will need to be determined in consultation with the light department and the wiring inspector. And that's it.
Okay, nothing from the abutters?
Nothing from the abutters.
Mr. Chairman, we did have one abutter come in and look at the plans in the office. He looked at them and he said, that's great. He was fine with it.
Very good. Is there anyone here to speak in opposition to this project? Evidently not. Okay, board members, do you have any questions of the gentleman?
I only have a positive one, that I agree that that breezeway, it makes the house look, it's a nice approach. It would, I think it's a good approach to the design.
There are no other questions? We have a motion?
So we're only doing a special permit, correct?
Correct.
We're doing a special permit. The gentleman has withdrawn the variance. And we'll make note of that in the findings.
And why is it currently non-conforming?
The lot is.
Front yard?
Front
It's
yard.
too close to the front, and the,
Front,
and the
right.
lot
Lot
is
is
only
up.
16,000, I think.
Undersized.
Did you have a map plan?
You do have the draft decision in front
This
of
is
you.
the,
too.
That's what I was trying to get on my phone.
yeah, this is the zoning. Which street is this?
Park.
Where the hell is Park Street?
Good.
Is Park Street right near Park?
It's right now, Manning. We're just looking at a map plan of the site. And I can't work this computer, so.
Oh, right, okay.
It's near how Manning. It's that really cute street.
Yeah, it's the, yeah. Okay, it's a little teeny tiny
And
lot.
it's that funky one.
It's that weird little
Yeah.
shaped lot. My only comment would be that it looks like there's an in-ground pool. Yeah, and so,
Yeah, they really don't have a choice.
yeah, my
Their septic system's off
there's
to the
nowhere
right,
else
so
it
the
can
site
go.
is,
That doesn't have anything to do with what they're asking for.
Right. My only concern would be impermeable surface, but
Okay.
that's not really in the realm of this, so.
If no one else has anything,
Yeah.
I will be more than happy to make
thank you, Craig.
the following, or I'll make a motion that the board accept the following findings, that the proposed addition, in this case a two-car garage, to the previously non-conforming structure that is located at 27 Park Street, that will, with the proposed addition, while it already encroaches on the front yard setback, will have an additional encroachment into the side yard setback by 5 feet, into the, what would be required of it of 15 feet. Will not be substantially more detrimental than the existing non-conforming structure as it currently sits in the neighborhood. It's will have no negative impact on traffic, or pedestrian safety or flow. There's no impact on utilities, fits with the neighborhood character. There's no negative impact based on the evidence presented on the natural environment, and will have a positive impact economically and fiscally on the town by increasing the tax base, by increasing the value of the property in question.
Motion's made, is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion's made and second, all those in favor vote?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Based on those findings, pursuant to section 3.3.5.3 of the bylaws, I will make a motion to issue the special permit to allow for the proposed addition to the non-conforming structure that will be encroaching on the side yard setback by up to up to 5 feet. I mean, you're at 10.1, but. Huh?
A little windage doesn't hurt.
Been there, so, up to 5 feet, from the south easterly lot line.
Motion made, second.
I'll second it.
Motion's made and second, all those in favor vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Further, I'll make a motion that the board, my brain's not working anymore. That the board will allow the petitioner to withdraw without prejudice its, application for a variance. What's the word that goes with it? It's.
Withdrawn without prejudice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Burgess, you got that in. Okay. Motion made, second.
I'll second it.
Motion made and second, all those in favor vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you all. Before I forget.
And
No problem.
These things go without you.
there being no further business, we'll refer to our town planner, or do you have anything else?
You know, I do want to let the board know, we have a busy month coming up. Hopefully, you'll all remain healthy and not go on any extended vacations. We received 3 to 4 applications, new applications, and one of them is rather large, could be a big project.
Fun.
So get ready.
There no being no other business, a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Meeting's adjourned.